Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Woo! Let's go, boys. It is week 7. Week 7 is a disaster on the fantasy football front, but that's what we're here for. Fantasy Football by Committee, brought to you by Flurry Sports. We're going to try and help you guys out tonight with a little week 7 start-sit show. I'm Henry John. I'm joined by the Zachs. Zach McAdoo in the middle, sporting the track house, and the Justin Tucker. We got to have some kicker love on this show, just for you, Bruner. And Zach Espinoza on the far right. I think that's a soccer shirt, but I'm not sure.
Texas State Bobcats. Eat 'em up, cats.
Even better. I love it. Guys, I'm exhausted, but I am fired up. I feel like this week is the toughest one we've seen to date. There are so many injuries. You've got 6 teams on bye. And those teams, by the way, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Jets, the Panthers, the Texans, some sneaky production out of there, and the Titans, so you're going to be without, Derrick Henry and some pieces like that this week. There are so many question marks, I feel like, going into this week. Just in general, before we get to the chat, and, if you guys have questions, drop them in there for sure. We'll be answering those. That's our priority. That's what we're here for tonight. Any start-sit questions, any questions at all you have, fantasy football related for week 7, drop them in there. Before we get to all that, though, I'm just curious, and you guys can keep this short and sweet. How do you necessarily approach a week like this? So many moving parts. There's a lot of guys who are questionable, haven't been practicing all week. We think they're going to be back, but they're not going to be back. What's your general strategy for this? Or what would maybe just some general advice be to people like me who are probably freaking out in at least one league, if not more?
McAdoo, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I mean, I'm in 11 leagues, and I tell you, I'm panicking, and over half of them, it's pretty big panic. In one league, I have Trevor Lawrence, and he's questionable, and you have people saying don't start him. But when your other quarterback is Kenny Pickett, you're starting Trevor Lawrence unless he's out. You have to. I mean, there's other like Jeff Wilson Jr. He's supposed to be back, but we don't. They're not. Dolphins are showing their hand yet with that. So you got to really read the news of everyone for going into the week. So, I mean, we have news that Deshaun Watson might be back, and I know it's Espinoza's favorite news that he's ever heard of, but I mean, it's just you just really got to pay attention to the news that's popping up there for players.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, there's a Super Bowl. There's 2 Super Bowls a week for fantasy managers. First one is yesterday. It's Waiver Wire Wednesday. Everybody should be reading our articles. Gary, got to plug Flurry Sports. What we're here to do, talk about that's what we write all week is these articles, so you can have the best advantage. Really trying to target that waiver wire, and then secondly, your Super Bowl. Hopefully, the waiver wire Wednesday prepares you for Sunday, Monday, and Thursday for those games, fellas. It's as simple as that. You pay attention with us. You watch the waiver wires. You go after those trades. And we'll help you out. We'll make you go a long way.
Yeah, we're doing this. We're doing the hard work for you guys. So do us a favor. Head over to flurrysports.org. Give all the start-sit articles. You got streamers for every position. You got, hey, maybe somebody in the waiver wire column that was written a few days ago is still available in your league, like somebody sleeping or whatever. Go check that out, too. You might still be able to save your lineup this week because Lord knows that there are a lot of lineups that need some saving or need some adjustments here at this point in the season. All right. Let's see. Jump into the chat here. We are going to kick things off with some questions. We'll jump into the articles if we have time. But we're here to entertain you guys. So any questions you got, fire them away. for week 7. Lil Cheeto 0824 on Twitch. We're kicking things off here, boys. Ramondre Stevenson or Zach Moss this week. Ramondre Stevenson got a little banged up last week. I believe he's going to be fine. The Patriots are playing the Bills. I don't know what to make of the Bills right now. And then Zach Moss and the Colts, they are taking on the Cleveland Browns. Do I have that right? I should have that right. Yeah. And that is it's a tough defense. I'll give it that. Might be the best defense in the NFL, but you guys have an initial lean here?
Might be the best defense in the NFL. I think it's a definite the best defense in the NFL that this Jagoff took from my dynasty
I
team.
didn't want to give Espinoza too many flowers right out of the gate here.
I am because like he took the Niners defense from me, and I probably should have protected them instead of Kyler Murray. But I mean, I have to go with Ramondre Stevenson because you don't know what Bills defense is going to show up. It could be the Bills defense that stopped Josh Jacobs week 2 to -2 yards. It could be the Bills defense that allowed Breece Hall to run over 100 yards in 2 carries. From what I saw last week, I'm going to lean towards the bad Bills defense.
Yeah, and I think if you're down to this, you're screwed, right? It's a really big question mark. Also, Little Cheeto, excellent name, by the way. Baller name. I personally have to go with Zach Moss, though. Like, I understand that it is the Cleveland defense. They did just stifle the juggernaut that is the San Francisco 49ers offense. But at the end of the day, they got Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor. And I think it's going to be hard for them to stymie both of those. I don't think a lot of people, really hit the point when talking about Cleveland's win that Deebo Samuel went down, Christian McCaffrey went down, you don't know what George Kittle is going to show up. You don't know what game plan they have for him. I don't think they can contain both of them, and they're starting to get Zach Moss receptions, which is equally as important as his runs, especially for PPR format. I want to take Zach Moss over the dumpster fire that is the New England offense any day.
The Browns come in allowing 7th fewest fantasy points per game. That's PPR points to opposing running backs. The Bills are below average, it looks like, in terms of PPR points allowed to the running back position. So you can take that for what it's worth. I have to side with McAdoo, I think, as far as picking one of these guys. I'm with Espinoza. I don't think Zach Moss is necessarily going anywhere. Like, the dude's playing too well to just completely ride the pine here behind Jonathan Taylor. That being said, it is a split workload. They are going up against a good defense, and I don't know that Bills defense is necessarily going to be the same with all the injuries they have and that they're dealing with here the rest of the season. So I know it's the Patriots. I know it's a hold your nose situation because that team sucks, but maybe they'll get up for a divisional game at home. They haven't won at home yet. So I would go with Stevenson there. I think the guaranteed workload is too good to pass up in favor of Zach Moss, especially in a tough matchup. All right. We've got St. Louis fan, Mr. Discount, also on Twitch. Good evening. Are we trading Hopkins for Najee Harris in a 16-team PPR? In a vacuum, I'm not doing this, but that would make me wonder, what does the rest of your roster look like? Are you in need of running backs? Are you loaded at wide receiver? I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on this trade based on the information we have here? Najee Harris has been a major disappointment, obviously, as has the entire Steelers offense for that matter. Splitting work with Jalen Warren, who for my money looks like the better running back almost every single week. As far as explosiveness is concerned, between the tackles running, I'm not sure. I still love Najee Harris, but I hate that Steelers offense. Not that the Titans are much better, but what are you guys thinking here?
Like you said, in a vacuum, I'm not taking this trade. It all depends on what your depth is for running backs and how bad you need a running back to the caliber of Najee Harris, who essentially is splitting snaps with Jalen Warren. Najee's been a big disappointment for me in one of my leagues, and so he's on my bench for it. So
I think I got to go against the grain here. In a vacuum, I am making this trade. Even with his split workload, Najee Harris is still getting higher volume than DeAndre Hopkins. Ryan Tannehill is going to be out for some time with that high ankle sprain. Oh, if he is, even if he isn't, are you still trusting Ryan Tannehill in the Tennessee offense? And then secondly, I like this. I like this, line of logic, but can you get something better than Najee Harris? Or is this the best offer that you've received?
That's what I'm wondering too. Because I can see the motive for doing it, especially like we said, what does your roster look like? I would wonder what else you could get, trying to sell Hopkins kind of high there based on name value. I'm not sure. If you want to put the rest of your roster in the chat, though, and then we can get a better idea of what you need or what you've got going right now, definitely feel free to do so. Yeet56, love the name. Jay Uso shout out. Christian Kirk or Amari Cooper. Christian Kirk and the Jags are going tonight against the New Orleans Saints. Amari Cooper and the Browns. As we said, they're playing the Colts this weekend. Yeet says he also has Devontae Adams. Talk about a loaded receiver room here. Holy cow. Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk, Adam Thielen, and Deontay Johnson as well. I'm assuming this is a start-sit question, not a trade, first of all. So that's the assumption I'm operating under. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Kirk against the Saints. Trevor Lawrence banged up. Not sure if he'll be at 100%. And then Amari Cooper with good old Deshaun Watson question mark. Is he playing? I don't know. No. I'm going to do some research on these quarterbacks here. What do you guys think, though, of these two options?
I mean, Amari Cooper with P.J. Walker last week still put up 14 points. So I'm still in a PPR. I'm still going with Amari Cooper with P.J. Walker or Deshaun Watson. Doesn't matter. I don't know how good Trevor Lawrence is going to be for Christian Kirk against this New Orleans defense.
Yeah, as much as it pains me to say, I got to agree. It's all across the board here. Amari Cooper is the safer bet.
Amari Cooper limited at practice today with an ankle injury. Limited on a Thursday. He'll be fine. It's funny for me. Christian Kirk obviously is not putting up the same kind of numbers he was last year, but I think I was expecting a little bit more of a drop-off. Like, he's actually been kind of consistent, even with Calvin Ridley coming back, Evan Ingram playing nice, ETN, all that. So I got to give Christian Kirk some props there. For sure. Let's see here. We got Flurry Sports. Amari Cooper's in this week's start-sit column, which we have not gotten to yet. So let's see if he's a start or a sit. That's the question. Start-sit wide receivers over at flurrysports.org. Amari Cooper, look at that. He's a start. There you go. And we're not even sure if Deshaun Watson or P.J. Walker is the QB this week. So Cooper's been playing well, though. So
that's how confident we are. No, we appreciate you, Yeet.
100% we do. Fire away with those questions. I got the receiver article pulled up, so we might as well take a deeper dive into this. In the meantime, Zach in here has got, along with Amari Cooper, he has Brandon Ayuk as a start against the Vikings. Obviously, the 49ers have got some injuries going on that offense. They play Monday night, and from what I gathered earlier, it looks likely that those guys will be able to go with the extra day of rest. They're not long-term injuries or anything. Will it affect snap counts and all that? Remains to be seen. But I have a hard time disagreeing with playing Brandon Ayuk against the Vikings defense, which is, no great shakes.
We supposed to continue? I don't know why he wouldn't start Ayuk. I mean, with Debo, is he out this week? I know he was hurt. I haven't heard anything about.
Questionable. Hasn't been made official yet.
Still, you're still starting Brandon Ayuk against this Vikings defense.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one game to get a get back game, it's against the how many wins? Minnesota Vikings? Oh yeah, that's right, 2.
Could be 4 though.
We say that every single year with every team. Oh man, they were just a 1 score away. Any team is this close from being undefeated in the NFL, except the Carolina Panthers. They are truly sucking. Same with Chicago.
If my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. What the hell's your point?
Didn't Minnesota win like 13 games last year, and it could have been 7? Like it's just
11.
That's how this league is. Bruner sits in the wide receiver article. He has sitting Calvin Ridley. That would be tonight, so Thursday Night Football against the Saints. So that's kind of interesting there because Kirk was the other side in that question we just answered. But, with Trevor Lawrence dealing with the knee injury, he also notes here Calvin Ridley, 2 games with over 40 yards this year. That's it. So he has not lived up to all the preseason hype as far as consistency is concerned for sure. So that's an interesting choice there. And then we have Michael Pittman with the Colts against that vaunted Browns defense that we already touched on earlier. I'll let one of you guys talk a little more about Ridley and one of you guys talk a little more about Pittman. First come, first serve. As far as sits, do we like the calls? Are we on board? Additional thoughts?
So with Ridley, we just talked about Christian Kirk and that whole thing. Same thing for Ridley. Lawrence has a knee issue against this New Orleans defense. How much can you trust them tonight? Also this week.
Yeah, in regards to Michael Pittman, Bruner wanted to try to throw the stats at me, but what stats don't have are context all the time. Gardner Minshew was his first week starting from start to finish for the Colts offense. He's been a really great relief quarterback, not so great starting as of lately in this last part of his career. I don't exactly know how explosive that Indianapolis Colts offense is with him at the helm. And they're not exactly a fast offense, which is kind of what you need to be in today's NFL. So I absolutely agree. Sit Michael Pittman, sit Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, the Colts offense clearly flows through their running back tandem, I think, with Minshew under center. Absolutely, for sure. All right. We are about to become oh, wait. Michael Pittman had over 100 yards last week when I said to start him. How's that for stats? I mean, Espinoza.
Once the stats disagree with me, then they're wrong.
Fair enough. We're about to become a Michael Thomas focused show here for at least the next 5 minutes. We got a couple of questions involving the veteran Saints receiver, Dummy Man Pluto on Twitch. Michael Thomas tonight against the Jags or Rashee Rice. It is a full PPR league. Rashee Rice, of course, rookie wideout with the Chiefs, and they are playing the Los Angeles Chargers. Good old Brandon Staley defense there. What do you guys think of this one?
McAdoo, you want to go first or shall I?
I'll let you because I'm still debating.
I think you're screwed if you are debating both Dummy Man Pluto as well as J-Rap. If you are debating starting Michael Thomas in a flex position, go ahead and say your prayers and accept defeat. I personally am not high on Rashee Rice, nor am I particularly high on Deontay Johnson coming back for Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh offense has been atrocious all around, offensive coordinating, for the play calling, as well as Kenny Pickett, wide receivers, Sands, George Pickens, and the running game has been questionable at best. I don't think Deontay Johnson is the people to come in there and really just, make things happen.
I mean, if you start a Mr. Toe injury who's been out for 2 years, I mean, it's probably your best option. I don't with Rashee Rice, I don't trust him yet. That Kansas City offense has a new favorite wide receiver every week. It could be Sky Moore, it could be Rashee Rice, it could be Isaiah Pacheco out of the backfield. Who knows? So I think Michael Thomas is your best bet there, and then
yeah,
Deontay Johnson may be back Sunday, but there's no guarantees. So I think you have to lead Michael Thomas.
So here's what I want to say, Espinoza, you were saying you're screwed if you're considering Michael Thomas in a flex, regardless of the situation. Are you, though? I mean, the ceiling's not there, but this guy, I mean, at least there's a floor. There's a solid target floor each and every week. I know Derek Carr's Charlie check down. You're not going to have much yards. You're probably not going to find the end zone. But if it's a flex spot, I mean, you're just trying to get
sure,
points, right?
the target volume is there, but what's the turnover? What's the ratio on that? How many receptions is he getting?
Well, I can tell you, he's got the last 3 weeks: 6 targets, 4 receptions; 7 targets, 4 receptions; 8 targets, 5 receptions; 53, 65, and 45 yards, respectively. 1 double-digit fantasy point outing. This league may have some settings off, so I apologize if that's not completely accurate for just standard PPR. And then 9.3 and 9.5 the other 2 weeks. For a flex spot, I feel like you can do worse. You know, like I say, you don't have a great ceiling, but
you know what? You're right. It is week 7.
Deontay Johnson, I want no part of. So J-Rap's question for me is easy: the Michael Thomas or Deontay Johnson. Dummy man Pluto. I like Rashee Rice going forward. Man, do you need a high ceiling or do you need a steady floor? I guess that would be like, what's your matchup look like? Is your opponent screwed this week like so many people are, and you think you can get away with Michael Thomas and just, some sort of production there? Or do you need to go for the gusto? Then I could see going with Rashee Rice, because to me, I feel like Mahomes he's working this Rashee Rice like he's going to be his next go-to wideout. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Could be Mecole Hardman.
Yeah, no. He already had that opportunity.
He's back.
So second chances are for.
Maybe. I don't know. Rashee Rice was a stud in college, though, so I'm on board with him. So, yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on that. If you need boom, maybe you consider Rice in that situation. You just need a floor that you can count on. I like Michael Thomas tonight. Big Serb Papa Chapa, Jerome Ford, or Calvin Ridley? So
excellent name.
We talked about Calvin Ridley as a sit in the wide receiver article. It is an excellent name, by the way. Jaguars against the Saints tonight. Jerome Ford, though, with the Browns, I think that's pretty clearly a split backfield going forward with him and Kareem Hunt. And I know there's other people with Flurry Sports who are kind of in alignment. Jerome Ford's not that great of not a great player. So what is he going to do with those touches? Where do you guys come down here? Obviously, this is a flex question. We got a running back up against the receiver.
McAdoo, you want to go or shall I?
I'll let you go.
Okay. So, I think Henry John, you had a great point with the floor versus the ceiling, and I think that's going to be how you evaluate this for Jerome Ford or Calvin Ridley. Jerome Ford is going to get the carries pretty much guaranteed, albeit with the split backfield with Kareem Hunt. But Calvin Ridley has, 2 games over 40 yards this year? Travis Etienne. Yeah, Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram, and even Christian Kirk have been playing pretty well and getting their volume share. I think Jerome Ford is the safer floor.
I like that. What about you, Mac?
Honestly, I don't like Jerome Ford. I think you got to go Calvin Ridley and take your chances. Kareem Hunt's coming. He's going to take the carries away from Jerome Ford, so I don't think
he's already arrived.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I think the carries are starting to come more. The carries are starting to come more for Hunt over Ford.
Fair.
All right. Dummy Man Pluto again. He's 6-0. He has Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen on bye. Welcome to the club, buddy. I've got a team where both my starting running backs are on bye this week. I don't even know if I'm going to start 2 running backs at this point.
Hey man, 6-0. But if you're really struggling to put Michael Thomas in there might be your first loss. But hey, congratulations, 6-0 in this economy. Real nice place to be. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. No, I hear you. You can afford a loss for sure. Why? The Chargers just had their bye, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a bye week 5. Why did no one catch that?
You might have to double check your bye weeks there. Adam Thielen is not playing this week. I know the Panthers are on bye. The Lions aren't on bye either because I know they play the Ravens. So you might have more help there than you need. I don't even know if you need to start one of them, depending on what the rest of your situation looks like. Let's see here. Chiggs 24, Christian Kirk, or Amari Cooper. Didn't we just answer this question?
No, Amari Cooper came up.
Oh, that was Amari Cooper or Calvin Ridley. My bad. So now we got another Jaguars receiver against Amari Cooper. So is Kirk better than Calvin Ridley? What do you guys think?
So far, yeah. I know that we're kind of getting high on Amari Cooper, and I do think he's a valid start, but he had a big play with that touchdown. It was a long reception, 40+ yards, if I'm not mistaken, on top of the 6 points for the touchdown. How much does he have outside of that? And what's the volume compared to Christian Kirk? I don't think you can go wrong with either choice.
So we did this question already. I just went back and looked at the chat.
See, I'm not that dumb.
Was exactly Christian Kirk or Amari Cooper worded the same way. And
there you go. Get this Mecole Hardman garbage out of here. I only have Shaheed to replace Ridley, says Nicole Brown on Facebook. I've been starting Rashid Shaheed in a dynasty league where kick returns and punt returns yardage counts, and he's kind of like a nice little flex with a floor. I'm not gonna lie. I should have been doing it sooner, but first thought would be what else is available on the waiver wire, as in how deep of a league is it? Is there something that you could go grab? Check out the wide receivers streamers article. Maybe there's something available. Do you guys are you guys actually going with Rashid Shaheed over Calvin Ridley? I mean, I know Trevor Lawrence. We don't know his status, but
he's
unless he's active, but he's never dealt with a knee injury before, and is he going to be 100% and all that stuff? That's what I mean. So I don't know how we're starting Rashid Shaheed over Calvin Ridley. Sits are all based on what other options you have, I guess, in my opinion. And unless you're getting kick return, punt return stuff out of Shaheed, which most leagues aren't going to be counting that, I don't even think this is a debate. I would be rolling with Ridley, right?
McAdoo, you want first dibs or shall I? You know what? Sometimes there is nothing left to say.
You're only starting Shaheed if you think he can beat, unless you think he's going to boom, and I don't think he's booming this week. You got to go Ridley. I don't know why I'm freezing now, okay?
You're all good, man. Yeah, I think I got to agree with both of y'all. It just depends on if punt return and kick return yardage are being taken into account, then Shaheed is the start. If not, safer bet Ridley.
All right. Hunter Johnson on YouTube, our first YouTube question of the night. Calvin Ridley or Jordan Addison this week? So Ridley again tonight against the Saints. Jordan Addison and the Vikings Monday night against the 49ers. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jordan Addison all the way. Justin Jefferson is out. I know that they said KJ Osborne is supposed to take on that Justin Jefferson role. I really don't buy that. They drafted Jordan Addison in the first round for a reason. I think this is now his time to shine.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. This one can go back and forth, but I still got to go Jordan Addison. Something about that Vikings offense. They can either put it on or lay an egg like they did against the Bears.
I'm going to differ then. I'm going to go Calvin Ridley just because I'm a fan of Calvin Ridley's, and I don't trust the Vikings against the 49ers. I know Kirk Cousins has all these yards and stats, but not buying it. Jordan Addison's a rookie. I think the ball is going to be spread around a little more than maybe you guys are buying into here. Plus, KJ Osborne horns up. Shout out UB. Fran Colgan on Facebook. Calvin Ridley. Rashee Rice. Josh Palmer.
DJ
Do
Moore?
we think it's DJ Moore or Elijah Moore?
Ooh, I think it's DJ. I've never really seen Elijah Moore pop up.
All right. He doesn't want to play Ridley, and he's wondering if we're going to talk him into it. He or she, sorry. Fran could be either one. So.
I don't know, man. I think Josh Palmer is
And it is
playing.
DJ.
Yeah, he's in a high volume offense with the Chargers. So I think the safest bet in regards to your floor, your highest floor is going to be Josh Palmer.
Okay.
Oh wait, if it's DJ Moore, it's Justin Fields in the Chicago offense. I think that's the most volatile, as in it could go really, really well for you if you start DJ Moore. Could also go equally as bad.
I don't think I want anything to do with Bears pass catchers this week. Like, I could get on board with Roshan Johnson if he plays. He made the running back starts that call him as a start if he's healthy. And I think Deontay Foreman's a fine start if he's not. But I don't trust that Bears passing attack with Justin Fields most weeks, let alone without him. And they're starting a backup that who even knows where he came from. So I'm going to rule him out. And I think I'm with you. I would lean towards Palmer here. I know we were talking before we got on the air that Herbert kind of a disappointment last week, but at the end of the day, Palmer's still the wide receiver 2 in that offense. Mike Williams is gone for the year. And I'm expecting the Chargers will be needing to pass the ball to beat the Chiefs. I know the Chiefs defense is a lot better, but I think in terms of just a steady production, that would be where I look. And I feel like Palmer's kind of being overlooked still, even though he's in that role. He wasn't spectacular last week, but he had like 4 catches, 60 yards or something like that. Still solid 10-point day. So I guess that's where I would come down on it. I can see, by the way, Bruner's rankings are also up on FlurrySports.org. So if you head over there and read the articles, you can check out his rankings. He updates them before.
You know what? Okay, and Bruder and Flurry Sports is also commenting saying DJ Moore has a Bagent. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Throwing it to him. You know, like I get it, but even when they do give him the ball, he has the chance to explode. That's all I'll say.
He has the chance, but
question is can they give it to him?
All right, so Bagant's dad is apparently an arm wrestling champion. Can this guy run? Because the Bears' offensive line ain't gonna protect him. And when they tried to have Justin Fields stand in the pocket, it didn't work. I don't think it's gonna work with somebody who can't even run when something breaks down. So, he's a 17-time champ. All right. Well,
he's got that arm strength to throw it.
Joke's on me. Zach in his rankings, just to give you a comparison of where the 4 are, I think we've given you plenty of options to talk you out of Calvin Ridley tonight if you don't want to go that route. He's got DJ Moore at 21. He's got Ridley 26. Palmer is 33. Rashee Rice is 41. And I agree Rashee Rice is the last of the 4 I would want to start. I'll give DJ Moore that. McAdoo, do you have any thoughts on that question from Fran? He doesn't want to start Calvin Ridley tonight.
I don't know. I can't see it anymore. The chat.
He asked Calvin Ridley, Rashee Rice, Josh Palmer, DJ Moore. Doesn't want to play Ridley tonight. We were trying to talk. I guess we were supposed to be trying to talk him into it, but we really didn't do that. I think it's DJ Moore or Josh Palmer.
Yeah,
if we're not going with Ridley.
I still have DJ Moore in my lineup for the Dynasty League. I think if we can put the ball in his hands, he can do moves. But
all right.
Again,
I just
task.
wonder if he's going to be upright long enough to put the ball in his hands. That's all. Let's keep moving here. Good stuff, though, friend. Jair's. I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired. I'm not good with names to begin with. Deep League, lot of buys. That's a fact. He needs 2 out of 3. Jamison Williams, Kendrick Bourne, Rashid Shaheed. This is a fun question. I like Deep League questions. All right, Jamison Williams and the Lions, they're playing the Ravens. Kendrick Bourne and the Pats are against the Bills. Quietly, the wide receiver won there for whatever it's worth. And then Rashid Shaheed tonight with the Saints against the Jaguars. Do you guys have a lean? Do you guys have a preference?
I think Jamison Williams is going to be really touchdown needy. He was brought there to Detroit to take the top off of defenses, and I think they're going to maybe target him once or twice in that role. And that's a big play. That'll get you the points for it. Kendrick Bourne is clearly the number one in the New England offense. Granted, it's what New England offense is going to show up against Buffalo. What defense is going to show up in Buffalo? I think Bourne is definitely somebody that I would start number one out of this. And Shaheed is, does your league accept punt and kick returns? I think I got to go with Jamison Williams as my 2. Jamison Williams, Kendrick Bourne.
Funny enough, I'm going the other 2 besides Kendrick Bourne. I don't trust that Pats offense. Mac Jones.
Biased as shit.
Mac Jones did not. Yeah, Mac Jones is dog poo. So I mean, why would you want to go with a guy that he needs his quarterback to throw the ball to him? I'll go with the other 2 who actually know what they're doing in Jared Goff and Derek Carr. Now, also, side note, Espinosa.
Derek Carr knows what he's doing.
What?
Derek Carr knows what he's doing.
Yes.
All right, well, let me throw this at you. Kendrick Bourne had 11 targets last week, 10 receptions, 89 yards, 19.3 PPR points.
Yeah, he won me a game last week.
Mm-hmm. I Deep League started him in one area.
Just against the Raiders defense.
It's Kendrick Bourne, and it is Rashid Shaheed for me. I think the jury's still out on Jamison Williams there, and I kind of like to see something nice, before I'm just like, all right, let me throw him in there. I think Shaheed and Williams both, you're looking for a big play to have them get you something. And I think I would go Shaheed there. I think a big play is more likely to happen against the Jaguars defense. I could be wrong, but that's just my gut. Then Detroit against Baltimore outside. I think the Lions might be due for a loss at this point. So, but yeah. Fran said he also has Deebo Samuel too. The only thing that's tough there is if he somehow is held out Monday night, then your backlog, you're in a tricky spot there. Let's see here. Yeah, Roshan Johnson didn't practice again today. We hate to see it. What else do we got here? Chiefs defense. Don't all wide receiver ones. Okay, Leo Ramos on YouTube. Chris Olave, another one involved in tonight's matchup. Devontae Smith with the Eagles, or Zay Flowers with the Ravens at flex. I like your team. Just I'll throw that out there if this is your flex debate. I think we got a solid overall roster put together here. Let's see. Zay Flowers and the Ravens going against the Lions in that game at home. Devontae Smith and the Eagles. Crap, who does Philly play?
Does it even matter?
I don't know if it really does. Where are you going with this?
I say that sarcastically, and like I'm now starting to eat my own words. Zay Flowers, I think, is that number one. He is that dog in Baltimore. I just don't know if Detroit actually shows up and they kind of stifle Lamar Jackson. I think that Detroit pass rush is underrated. I really don't trust Derek Carr, Olave. You know what? I think I go Devontae Smith. He plays with the high volume Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles are playing the Dolphins. Big Sunday night game, by the way. After that turd we had last week.
Yeah. I think I still go Devontae Smith.
Okay.
I'm going Devontae Smith.
McAdoo.
This is not a question. I mean, 3 good receivers, but still, I think Devontae Smith is high on the list for 90% of the season.
Absolutely. And when you're right, you're right.
I like Devontae Smith here as well. I think the Eagles are going to be motivated to bounce back. And Dolphins defense, I love Vic Fangio, but kind of hit or miss so far. They've been nice against teams that suck, and they've been not so great in other spots. So a little underwhelming even last week against a team that does suck. So Devontae Smith there. Love all 3 options, though. I mean, you're looking at 3 guys who are probably at least in consideration for top 20 wide receiver. Maybe Flowers is borderline, depending on how you're ranking him. But Leo says he also has Adams and Jalen Waddle starting somehow 1 and 6 and starting the wrong players.
I believe it.
Hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shut your mouth. Man, I hate when that happens, though. Starting the wrong player. Like, there's no grosser way to lose than when you start the wrong guys and then you have points on your bench. Am I the only one who feels that way? Like, I have a good team and I pick the wrong players on a weekly basis. Like, I would rather just suck.
What's worse is that in our Dynasty League, my last 2 wins have come by a combined less than 2 points. That's how bad I've been winning.
I feel like Bruder pities me because that Dynasty League I am wrecking in. And I feel like he handed me that team. I mean, to be fair, like I got to pick from others, but I feel like, like maybe this is a make-a-wish for me.
I mean, you kind of robbed my team blind, and all I got was like a 4th round compensatory. I was a little disappointed.
I lost 3 players, and I got a 3rd compensatory compared to some guy who got 2nd for losing 2. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I feel like it was a make-a-wish for me.
I didn't realize how much I would miss 2 players, but, Espinoza robbed me in the middle of the night. I wasn't even there to witness it. Malcolm Merriweather on Facebook. Hello. We need to pick one, and we've got 3 options here. Drake London with the Falcons, Josh Palmer and the Chargers, Michael Pittman, who was in the start-sit column as a sit. Just throwing that out there. Against the Browns. Palmer's against the Chiefs and the Falcons. That is a game that is also escaping me right now. They are playing the Buccaneers. So these are 3 receivers that, I look at it and I say none of them have an easy matchup in terms of the overall caliber of defense they're going up against. What are you guys thinking here?
I think Josh Palmer. Detroit came in there into Tampa Bay with high volume offense, and they were able to spread the ball around. I do think that the Chargers have an equally as, I'd say, closer to the tier of Detroit's offense. Spreading that ball around. Josh Palmer is the clear number 2. I trust that over the other 2.
I'm going Drake London. I don't know what it is. That Atlanta Falcons offense, Ritter makes difficult throws at some points, but Drake London can still put up points. That's what he's done despite Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is finally putting up points, and it's amazing now. You see what happens when they throw him the ball? It's amazing to me. Man,
they still
going back down that road tonight.
Even when they throw him the ball, they still lose. It's amazing.
Well, that's because Desmond makes dumb throws at dumb points, and Arthur Smith. They need to go to Heineke at some point this year. It's going to piss me off, but.
Drake London has gotten 9 targets and 12 targets the last 2 weeks. Double-digit PPR points for the last 5. A couple touchdowns in there. But the last 2 weeks, he hasn't found the end zone, and he's just been that productive. it comes down to, oh man, I just don't know what I'm going to get out of Minshew, and so I think that plus the Browns' defense is enough to keep me off Pittman. And dare I say it, but I don't know fully what I'm going to get out of Herbert either. Like, I like Josh Palmer. I like the situation. Clear wide receiver, too. I don't trust the Chargers right now. I don't trust that play calling. I don't trust any of it. I never have trusted the
Wow.
Chargers. But I think I'm going to go with London.
Do you want to see my Owen Wilson impression?
Wow.
Wow. That's how I feel about that. Wow.
Thanks, London.
It's not bad.
London Lightning.
Oh, man. Okay. What else do we got here? Leo said he also has Josh Allen. Barely got Mostert. Maybe Josh Allen is part of the problem. Why he's 1-6. I don't know. M Mac on YouTube. Starting James Cook or Christian Kirk. It is a full PPR league. Okay. So obviously James Cook and the Bills against the Pats. Christian Kirk tonight with the Jaguars against the Saints. Kicking off. I almost said tipping. I'm ready for basketball. Kicking off in a matter of minutes. Guys got a lean here?
You know, I know that we've been kind of sitting Christian Kirk. I know that we're putting him higher than Calvin Ridley. But if it's between James Cook and Christian Kirk, I think I just go for funsies and I go with Christian Kirk.
Should I let the full bias show here? I think you know I'm going to lean here. So I'm going to go James Cook.
Fair, solid.
Oh, golly.
Why the golly?
Because I'm not sure.
Oof. A lot of things on your mind, man. Christian Kirk or James Cook.
Give me James Cook. Patriots have a lot of injuries on
Wow.
James Cook.
Wow.
Damian Harris, that's one less touchdown vulture. I know Latavius Murray's still there, but maybe, maybe Latavius Murray has to go in an ambulance this week too. Is that too soon? I'm sorry.
No.
And, I mean, all the Bills do it these days. So maybe James Cook finds the end zone.
Dude, getting your jersey retired on the ambulance is absolutely insane. And then you got to witness your own retirement ambulance come back out again. That's got to be like some PTSD, man.
Not a fan. They did him dirty. Let's see here. Spencer's talking shit. I hope you get your key back. I don't know which Zach is even going to try you tonight. There's 3 of them present, I think.
Hi, Spencer. What's up, man?
Sports Spotlight. Start Kirk. We need to start 2. Kirk, Marquise Brown, Zay Flowers. PPR. This is going to be Christian Kirk and Zay Flowers for me, I think.
I don't think you got enough time to start Christian Kirk. I think you go Marquise Brown, Zay Flowers.
Marquise and Zay Flowers.
Okay.
But you missed the question, Zach. Oh, my God. You didn't explain fantasy football in girly pop.
Let me take a stab at this. So girly pop. So the quarterback is like the mother, right? You got to protect your mother at all cost.
God.
So a touchdown is like a group slay, right? Like everybody wants to get involved. That's what we're trying to go for. A field goal for your kickers. That's like when you gag them a bit, right? You're teasing them.
Oh no!
A little.
I can't. This is a mistake.
Am I not doing our jobs of explaining everything? Which QB is most like a mother? They're all like a mother, right? You're always trying to protect your mom. On God. So I think that answers that. Guys, I want to see y'all try this.
No,
what the hell is this show?
No, you
now? What did I start?
It's girly pop terms.
I was going to bring up stuff about Taylor Swift and how she's always.
That's a start. There you go.
I like that. Russell Wilson
No.
is pretty fake. I will say he is most motherly.
Broncos country.
Catch him up. Oh.
That's right. Yeah. No, yeah.
He's gonna be his mother. He's gonna be a mother to Jackson. So why not?
Excellent question, by the way. Really makes us think, right? We're trying to be more approachable to the audience. We want to be inviting.
Yeah, I think it's the last time we answer anything like that, please. I'm sorry you brought it up.
We slayed. No, we group slayed. We just did a touchdown right now. We group slayed.
Stop. Henry, mute him next time.
You know what? Sometimes there is nothing left to say. You're absolutely right.
Oh, God, he's gone.
All right, guys, it is 7:15. It is kickoff, so I think we are going to be ending the stream here. McAdoo, any final words before we sign off?
Can we? I don't know if we can. Our host is gone.
And he's back. There we
There
go.
he is. Holy
Here again. I can hear. I'm sorry. I had a call come in and my headset just decided to shit the bed, and then I couldn't hear anybody. What's going on here? We got any more questions?
Do you want to end this slay?
There we
Yeah.
go.
TNF's kicking off. I got off some football. I want to watch Derek Carr lay another fat egg. Let's see here. We can jump in real quick. I know we covered the wide receiver start sit article. Might as well touch on the other two. I did running backs this week. You guys can take a dump on my picks again like you did a couple weeks ago. I have started Kareem Hunt against the Colts, basically kind of what we talked about earlier. I think, it's inevitable. He's the better running back in that backfield. And
Great show.
Yeah, you couldn't write it any better. Well, let's just stay on, right? He's our host, so we can't be having dead air.
It looks like you're at a fucking rave. What the hell's going on in your background?
Who, me?
It's blue. Yeah, it's blue, it's yellow, it's red, it's like...
Oh, it's because I have the TV on, so I'm watching the game.
Okay, I don't have that. But where do footballs come from? What's your guess?
Well, excellent question, by the way, Stoof. When a man loves a woman very, very much, they call a stork. And this stork, 9 months later, delivers a baby pigskin. And that's where footballs come from.
what did I just come back to?
First, take the cow to the killing floor.
It's a really beautiful and touching love story. That's a great question.
Yeah. Do you not know where footballs come from, Henry?
I think they teach this in, I think, like 5th grade for most people. I think that's when they're legally allowed to tell you.
That's why I need to move to Texas. See, we don't get that kind of education in New York.
Amen, brother.
It's coming. I'm telling you.
Amen.
What the hell was I talking about? Kareem Hunt is a start against the Colts. I had in the article, and I put Roshan Johnson with the Bears. He still hasn't practiced, though. I feel like he's going to be back. That concussion was over 2 weeks ago. By the time Sunday rolls around, I don't know how long a concussion keeps you out these days. Those were my starts, and my sits were Zach Evans. I'm not buying it against the Steelers. I feel like Royce Freeman's going to be around for some reason. And, golly, I can't even remember who else I wrote up in there. Gus Edwards against the Lions. I think Justice Hill is going to be involved. And kind of what you said earlier, Espinoza, that Lions defense is good. They're legit up front. They're the best rushing yards defense in the league. 64.7 per game or something. That's number one. And Gus Edwards is not going to have a PPR role. So that was my kind of rationale.
I do think, though, that Zach Evans does have a role in LA. We said the same thing about Kyron Williams. He was this big question mark. Royce Freeman has the name value. He was the lauded draft pick he was supposed to be. somebody big, and I think it's Zach Evans. It's his show to take. It's his time to shine.
I agree. I just don't like the matchup. Like, I don't think the Rams' offensive line is good. They've run like crazy the last couple of weeks, but it was against crappy defenses. Like, I still don't think that line is good. And I love Zach Evans, like out of Ole Miss. Like, obviously, I love Zach Evans, but I don't know.
Valid.
I like how you chose to shit on one of them instead of saying you liked any of them. Mac, did you like or hate any of them?
I don't know. I've been gone ever since we talked about football.
In girly pop
That
terms.
conversation would do that to me too. All right. If you want more analysis on the start-sit running backs or wide receivers, head over to FlurrySports.org. We have one more question we're going to answer instead of doing the tight end article, but the tight end start-sit article is also up on FlurrySports.org. Last question before we sign off and go watch some Thursday Night Football. Patty on YouTube, PPR League, should I trade away DK Metcalf and Rashad White for Brandon Ayuk and Rashee Rice? I'm going to show the questions because I haven't showed one all night. I forgot about doing that.
The last one of the night.
Train wreck, here we go. All right. Metcalf and White for Ayuk and Rice.
Oof. I love the Brandon Ayuk pickup. I don't know if giving away DK Metcalf and White is enough for that. Especially because you're getting Rashee Rice in return.
Who may or may not really truly become a consistent thing. I hear you.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to say yes. I think Brandon Ayuk is the better option, and Pete Carroll has just been raving about JSN, Jackson Smith. So I do think there's going to be lowering stock in DK Metcalf. So I do think Ayuk is the upgrade.
I'm not taking this. We discussed earlier, KC, it's a different wide receiver each week for who's the favorite. And now that, like we discussed earlier, Mecole Hardman's now in the picture. So I'm not taking this. I would keep Metcalf and White.
I think I'm on the Metcalf and White side as well. And one of my rationales for doing so, now granted, I don't know what your full RB room looks like, but White's clearly the one there, at least for now. And there are very few sure things, I feel like, at the running back position these days. Like, he's not getting competition for touches from Keyshawn Vaughn or Sean Tucker whatsoever. Like, he's the guy they fill in. I love Ayuk. Ayuk's the best player, the best asset, I think, in this trade. But assuming you're not loaded at running back, I would probably sit on White if that makes sense. But it's a good trade. Good question for sure. I think Bruner's come from Wisconsin as far as
Just end it. Just end it. Don't get into this.
That'll do it for us. Any more start sit questions you have? The Facebook group, Fantasy Football by Committee. Join that. Come on over, hang out, ask questions. You can answer other people's questions. I feel like I'm going to be asking more than one question in there going into week 7 because I got teams with issues. And, yeah, it's a great place to be. We're trying to grow the community over there. So Fantasy Football by Committee on Facebook. That'll do it. Follow these boys on Twitter. You don't want to follow me on Twitter. And X, whatever it is. I guess we're Xing these days. Yeah, we're going to be Xing right off of the stream here and go watch some Thursday Night Football. Espinoza McAdoo, thank you for joining. Have a good night, everybody.